Have you ever seen someone ruin their life in just a few seconds? How did they do it? Showing off for attention. We were a group of U.S. Marines traveling from LAX to Camp Pendleton in a school-type bus. A woman pulled up next to us in a Jeep CJ5 on the I-5. Unhooked her seatbelt and began flashing skin at us. Of course, we cheered her on. After 2 minutes, she got bored and drove off. 10 minutes later, we encountered a traffic jam. As we passed the blocked area, we saw the Jeep on its side and the woman laying nearby with most of her brains about 5 feet away. Waiting outside a club one rainy night, some young lady decided to take one of the cop cars out front for a spin after getting tossed out. She ended up crashing into one of those concrete barricade things blocking the side door. Drunk girl decided to get out of the back of a Jeep going about 40 miles per hour. A friend's brother jumped off the balcony of his apartment at his own birthday party. He was aiming for the pool. And he missed. I knew a guy. He and his friends were into that trend of going to really high places and taking pictures of them. Hanging from them. The guy the first knew got to the top of one of those massive crane things, and while taking the picture he fell. He died upon impact with the ground, and now whenever I see pictures like that on social media I want to cry and beg these people to stop before they lose their lives. One example is the BMX rider who broke his spine or neck and became a paraplegic. He says he doesn't regret it, but I kinda wonder if it's just the story he needs to tell himself in order to cope with the consequences of his actions. My mom's best friend dove headfirst into the shallow end of a pool while drunk at one of my birthday parties. She broke her neck and became paralyzed from the neck down. She died a couple years later. A friend of mine had an old restored Jeep from like the 70s. Antique plates and everything. Ended up driving on the freeway really fast. Jeep went crazy and flipped. Broke his arm. Now has neurological problems and had to leave his 6-figure job to living at home with his parents. He was engaged and that ended as well after his accident. A guy in my class had an affair with a teacher which ruined his life, and after 6 months the guy committed suicide. Knew a girl who was high and jumped from a short balcony. She had to learn how to walk again at 21. Riding too fast. Like a typical asshole young man in SE Asia. Right into the front of a truck. I hope he didn't die. Regardless, he will be fucked up for life. Guaranteed brain damage given the helmets worn here. Saw a dude lose his slip for mooring his boat due to lack of payment. Decided to anchor off the shore. Against all advice. Soft seafloor. High winds. Break wall. Etc. Apparently he went to the store and came back to his wooden boat. Also his housing. In a million pieces. The guy was an idiot. And I often wonder if it was some Hail Mary attempt at getting his ex back in some fucked up way. Unmuted Zoom call. Trash talking a manager. HR posted a, "Thank you X for your years of service," email pretty much the next day. There are so many video examples of this exact thing happening on Reddit. Haha. One split-second decision can destroy your life or make it much more complicated than necessary. Saw a dude on a motorcycle get hit by a semi. Was hard to realize it was his body on the ground. Seemed unreal. He did not make it, sadly. At work someone stole a bottle of hand sanitizer because it looked cool. Problem was it was a special order for abused pregnant women. And the bottles were cool because you can attach it to a belt while taking care of baby. It was questionable he took a bottle. Criminally negligent taking it without washing his hands and rifling through the box. Homeboy lost a $35 an hour job over a $2 bottle of hand sani. When I saw a mate who started smoking crank for the first time, I told him it has accident written all over it. But he did it anyway. One of my high school classmates, a kicker on the football team, was at a party at a friend's house on the very last day of school in his senior year. The house was on a lake, and he decided to run off the end of the pier and jump head first into the lake. The water was a foot deep. He never walked again. They tried to virtue signal Lil Nas X and his clapback lit them on fire. Yes, I do. After 2 months of the wedding, the wife come back to her country after take all the money of my friend. Everybody knows that something similar could happen. But he didn't hear us. Well, there was that one husband of Tiger King who shot himself in the head to demonstrate it won't hurt and died. Ouch. Reminds me of that video where the woman is hanging out the window and it's being filmed from inside the car. Then she gets up close and personal with a telephone pole at 50 miles an hour. The ultimate evidence that the Earth isn't flat is the lack of any videos of some Russian kid hanging off the side. If you're talking about Stephen Murray, it changed my life in a few seconds too. I was watching from about 10 feet away and will never forget it. I definitely started thinking harder about risks after witnessing that crash and seeing the outcome. I'm 6 years out from a severe brain injury due to downhill skateboarding. It changed my life significantly. I'm not paraplegic, but I did paralyze some eye muscles, so I have permanent double vision. No regrets. People who do extreme sports tend to do them because they enjoy them. It doesn't make sense to not do it out of fear of being injured. If you search on YouTube for bike fails, you'll see all kinds of bike accidents. One common observation is that guys without helmets are less likely to get up after they're little. Whoopsie. If his wife left him because of an accident, I feel that digging a specific rare earth metal was involved. How did it ruin his life? Would think the teacher had more to lose. All bosses do coke in the office, and honestly, if I can't sell some weed to my coworkers, that job can fuck off. Didn't think I needed to use S. I'm sorry. I've now knew 3 people who are dead or have serious brain damage from motorcycle accidents. Via tertiary relationships there are probably 3 to 5 more. Warning NSFW, https://effuct.com/2219_the_video_borodina_uncensored.html LMFAO, GTA 5 wasted screen, I am dead man. That's too funny. He spent a few days on life support, and then they took him off of it. Brain dead. I'm not a flat earther. Just a fan of weird and clearly wrong theories. They believe that Russia is closer to the center of the Earth and the South Pole is a giant ice wall protected by military, beyond which lies a utopia which is only accessible when the ice melts in the summer. After typing the comment I realized the joke and it made me laugh. Just gonna leave it here though. Sorry it takes me a while to get some jokes. Yes. That guy. Steven. You don't forget something like that. I saw it a few years ago in a short documentary about extreme sports. This one. https. u2.be/nxntiudc. Well, he said he had done things that no one else had before and so that made it worth it. Still sad though. Well, Those rodeo sports also come with big risks, but getting to the top level apparently gets you a lot of money, and so that's why they risk it. I don't think a lot of people with families or responsibilities will risk their life just for enjoyment though. The people who climbed Everest did it mostly for the fame and achievement rather than money. But still, enjoyment alone is probably not worth the risk of death. Emo. You need to cross the street to get food or starve to death. You don't need to do double somersaults 5 meters in the air to get food and not starve. Greater than if you're a pro doing extreme sports. You're aware of the risks. There's a difference between knowing the risks but in the back of your mind thinking, it won't be me, and actually knowing what it's like. I hit my head on a pipe years ago and it fucked up me to this day. It was just a random accident, but it has influenced my life noticeably for the last decade. There's a difference between knowing and knowing. What exactly is lockdown doing then? It stopped me enjoying anything for over a year now. Greater than more and more people are actually not allowing their children to cross streets. So my kid just discovered that her new school friend lives 2 blocks away, only needing to cross First Street. I told someone that when COVID was all done it was cool that she had a friend whose house she could walk to, and they told me she was way too young. She's 9. I started thinking about what I was doing at 9 and it blows my mind. Just like that young female surfer chick. Lost her arm to a shark and was back out in the water as soon as she was able. Lol. After his accident I read up on Jeep Wobble, and yeah, they are freaking death traps. In spite of everything our cultural establishment is trying to cram into our heads, children below a certain age really are not ready for intimate relationships. The damage is more obvious in some cases than others. But having sex at a young age really does screw them up. All the high fives from fellow classmates was destroying his palms. A coworker was having an IM chat with a coworker and wrote, "Yeah. HR manager is a bitch," not realizing it was a group message and everyone in the company saw this. He was gone the next day. Bitching about your manager is rarely protected speech. Well, I assumed that, but did she not have the seatbelt on? Flashing a bus full of Marines 1 minute and then another minute later her brains are splattered on the road. Living the fast life.